Yo guys, welcome back to another video on Universal Tower Defense. Today we will be getting some of the new units in the new Universal Festival update 1.5. We will be getting Shiny, Mihawk, and Sabo. Anyways, I already have all of those units. I have Mihawk Shiny. He takes his Blade of Night sword from crafting. Got some pretty good stats on him. Let's evolve them. Pretty tough, pretty tough. Got some good stats on Sabo. Sabo looks pretty good. Alright, so Sabo's etherealizations. Flame Emperor boss DOT buff to self increased by 50%. E4 burn to a crisp firewall damage increased to 65% to non-burning enemies. And then his last etherealization, burn to a crisp firewall damage increased to 100% damage to burning enemies. He needs 3 placement. And Mihawk's etherealizations, he sword stances cap increased to 4 cycles. 1,000 cuts cap increased to 15 damage increased to 7.5%, and armor damage increased to 1.65x. Then etherealization level 6, sword stances damage increased to 60%, and critical rate increased to 20%. Alright, let's see how long it'll take me to get ruler on both of these guys.
Tell them to bring me my money.
Alright, so that didn't take too long. Let's now roll on Sabo. It took me like a couple hundred for Mihawk. Let's see how much it takes for him.
Another one.
Alright, that didn't take too long. That was only a couple hundred, I think. 300, 400. Let me get the artifacts on them, and I'll be back with you guys. Alright, so I got Sabo's best relics here. For the top, you want damage. For the skirt, you either want damage or crit rate. And for the accessory, you want elemental damage. The spirit armor, you want the spirit armor because every 5th attack gains DOT damage equal to its range. One range equals 1% DOT damage for 10 seconds, does not stack. So, and for Mihawk's relics, I have damage for the top, crit rate for the bottom, and the just more crit damage, crit rate for the hat. But yeah, besides that, let's go showcase these two goated ass units. Alright, so Sabo on placement is 1400 to place. Alright, so Sabo goes up to them, hits him with his whatever the... Yeah, I mean, he hits him. Boom. Fire Pipe Eruption. He goes into a line. Alright. Boom. And then Fire Fist Beat Down. He goes into a big AoE circle. And then his final upgrade, Afterburn Fist. He goes into a big cone AoE. Looking pretty good. And then with the buff, he is doing over 114,000 damage. But he does have a thing with Ace synchro drive. So let's do that real quick. So with the synchro drive, they are a big line. That's definitely a multi-hit. They are doing, with the buff, 371k every 6 seconds with 58 or 56 range. They have 58k DPS. So this is the synchro drive. I think this is the synchro drive's passives. On attack, apply burn for 150% damage over 9 ticks. Burn from this unit can crit. Will of Fire. When a boss spawns, plus 15% damage, minus 10% SBA, plus 5% range. When inflicting burn to a boss, the burn will last 2 ticks longer. Defying Flames. When an enemy with burn dies, apply critical burn to the nearby enemies. When attacking an enemy with burn, reset the duration of burn. So yeah, the synchro drive is pretty crazy. I'm not gonna lie. And since Ace doesn't cost that much, I would do it. And plus, they look pretty cool if they can stop talking for 1 second. Yeah, Ace is. I mean, he's obviously dead. I think he's dead. I don't know. I am a D1 LARPer. But yeah, let's look at his normal passives. Yeah, his passives are different. So Sabo's passives by himself, burn to a crisp. His active ability unlocked on his final upgrade. Place down a flame wall on the path. I don't know what that says. If an enemy has burn applied, deal 65% damage, otherwise deal 100% damage. Cooldown 45 seconds. Flame Emperor. For every wave passed, plus 10% DOT, cap 100%. When a boss is spawned, 25% DOT. When a boss enters range, 20% DOT to all allies in range. Dragon Claw. When hitting an armored or hyper armored enemy, mark the enemy. If the enemy has lost its armor, apply burn for 10% damage over 3 ticks. When hitting, oh, I forgot to die. When hitting a marked enemy, deal 1.75x damage. Remove the mark from the enemy. Alright, let's see the. So you can place down a wall. It said, yeah, you can. So yeah, as you can see right here, here's the wall. And when they hit it, he does more damage, or they take damage. Yeah, they die since they're so low HP. Alright, sick. He's pretty good. He's pretty good unit. The synchro drive I definitely recommend doing, but now let's get on to Mihawk. Alright, so for Mihawk, he costs 1600 to place down. He's doing 3.8k, 5.2k every 8 seconds with 48 range. With the buff, he is doing 8.4k every 7.9 seconds with 47 range. Alright, so I think he has well, it says he has 1 attack for the whole thing. He's just a big cone AoE. And he just hits him, I mean, with his sword. Also, the flame wall is still there from Sabo. I don't know how long that lasts. But yeah, let's see his Mihawk's passives. 1000 cuts. On attack, deal 7.5% more damage per enemy hit. This buff caps at 15 enemies hit. When attacking more than 1 armored enemy, deal 1.65x damage to armored and hyper armored enemies. Every 100 takedowns unlock either armament hockey or observation hockey. Armament hockey, 35% damage to 50% critical damage. Observation hockey, when no enemies are in range, switch to stance 1, 500% range, holy shit, and minus 50% SBA. Every 1 stud further the enemy is from this unit, deal plus 1% damage per stud. Attacks during observation hockey do not count towards sword stances. This unit has 3 sword stances and starts with the stance 1 on placement. Every other attack switch to the next stance, instantly release a follow-up attack. When reaching stance 2, 60% damage, 20% critical rate. When reaching stance 3, 5% critical rate, 25% critical damage. These buffs stack up to 4 times. So that's pretty crazy. He's doing a decent amount of damage. Is this buffed or not buffed? Yeah, that was buffed. So he was doing 127,000 damage buffed. Yeah, but and he just got 60% damage, 20% critical rate. He has 101% critical rate. And yo, I mean, he's pretty crazy. 100% critical rate, plus with the relics I have on him, he has more crit rate. So he's pretty much hitting a crit rate every time. He's a pretty good crit unit. Like, say he just gained 500%, or yeah, look how much yo, I'm not gonna lie, Mihawk might be really good. Mihawk's pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. Alright guys, I hope you did enjoy this video. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and I will see y'all in the next video.